So one thing I kind of think about, and I hate to kind of pick on a certain industry, but it's one of those industries that I'm about to say that kind of sometimes kind of grind my gears a little bit would be like the hair industry.
Oh, goodness.
Because I think a lot of times, and not of course all, I'm not saying all at all, but we see the videos, Instagram and stuff like that, of where client experience is just not considered. It's
Mm,
totally ignored because people feel like, well, I could just get more clients. I'll
mhm.
just go through, continue to market, and okay, who cares if they're happy?
Welcome to the Side Hustler Podcast, your go-to space for content creation, actionable strategy, and the real behind the scenes of building a business while you're still balancing a full-time job. Every week we talk about what actually works, what doesn't, and how to create content that moves your business forward without burning you out. I'm your host, Carly LeBlanc. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome back to the Side Hustler Podcast. I'm your host, Carly LeBlanc, and I'm so excited to have you here today on today's episode because we are going to be diving into all things client experience. On today's episode, I have one of my good business friends, Kenniqua Lewter, who is a HoneyBook strategist and a systems strategist, and she helps business owners turn their one-off clients into repeatable clients by implementing systems to keep them coming back again and again. In this episode, we are going to be talking about all things client experience because one of the things that we see a lot is that business owners struggle with actually being able to keep their clients that they already worked hard to get in their ecosystem and having them to continue to repeatedly show up time after time in their business. And the thing is that when you create a system that allows you to retain clients that are already investing in you, that have already experienced your brilliant and amazing business, it makes marketing easier for you. It makes your income predictable, and it allows your clients to speak for you by bringing in more clients and more referrals into your business. So you don't have to continue always being on this hamster wheel of trying to find clients. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about what client experience is, what systems you should have in place, some of the common mistakes that business owners make when it pertains to client experience, and some of the quick and easy tips that you can actually start implementing today to help you improve your client experience as a business owner. If you are tired of always having to reinvent the wheel, always having to go out and find new clients every time the month starts over, this episode is going to be for you. So make sure you grab your notebook, your coffee, and let's get into today's episode.
Have you ever found yourself stuck on what to post or struggling to stay consistent on social media? I've been there, and that's exactly why I created this free guide called 30 Days of Done For You Social Media Prompts for Personal Brands. This guide is loaded with prompts to get your gears turning so you can have a gallery of content to create for your brand and never stress about what to post again. And you can grab it right now at cdcreativecoagency.com/content and start creating content that connects without the stress.
Hello, Kenniqua, and welcome back to the Side Hustler Podcast.
Hello, thank you so much for having me again, Carly.
Yes, I am so excited for all of the things that we're going to get into today. I know that it has been a hot minute since you've been on here. So, for anyone that is new to you, that is new to your world, can you give us a little insight on who you are and what you do?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Kenniqua Lewter. I'm a client experience system strategist. I also am a HoneyBook strategist. So in a nutshell, I help service providers put systems in their business to help them to continue to keep people in their world. So get repeat bookings and referrals and to be able to do all of that without overworking or burning themselves out.
Yeah. And I feel like that's so aligned for you because, like I told you before, when we first connected, I found you on YouTube because I was in the process of setting up my HoneyBook account. And I literally had your videos on while I was going through the whole process. And so I feel like even you kind of rebranding into this new space that you're in is so aligned. And so I'm super excited because I know that, you are the systems guru, but then also for a lot of people that are in this space of business, where they feel like they're always having to reinvent the wheel, find new clients every single time, every new month. I know that this is really going to be transformational for them. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So my first question for you is, what is the biggest lie that business owners believe about client experience?
Yeah. So I would say, because client experience, of course, is like this broad thing, right? This can mean so many different things, but in essence, it's really just about how your clients feel taken care of, how they feel actually going through and working with you. Even if you're doing a good job, like so you delivered a really good service, doesn't necessarily mean that how they felt about the service was actually good. So I
Mhm.
would say one of the biggest lies is that entrepreneurs, service providers, whatever, that they feel like client experience is something that they can wait to
Mm.
add later. So when they get more clients, when they get more revenue. But the problem with that is that client experience is actually already happening. So whether you realize it or not, you are showing and having some type of a client experience, but it
Mhm.
could be a bad experience that maybe you didn't even realize that was actually happening, or it could be something good. But typically, if it's a really good client experience, typically people have that in their mind. They were kind of intentional about it. But I would say that was probably like the biggest lie is a lot of times people wait. They wait
Mm.
till some other time down the road or when they have more time to kind of implement this client experience thing. And it causes you to drastically miss out on opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that goes into, what we're going to talk about today as far as like with client experience, because if you prioritize your client experience ahead of time, instead of you having to always reinvent the wheel, you will have people that not only speak for you to their family and their friends, but you'll also have repeat clients that will obviously always come back to you time and time after again. But if you're not prioritizing making whatever offer or whatever service or whatever product that you're giving to them, something that they're going to miss out if they stop purchasing it, then you'll be in that place where you'll have to continue to reinvent the wheel. So a lot of entrepreneurs are stuck on the hamster wheel of always finding new clients. And so I feel like with this being said, this is going to take us into my next question, which is what are some of the top 3 client experience mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make?
Okay, quick pause. If creating consistent content feels like a full time job on top of your full time job, then you're going to want to hear this. I am excited to bring to you Batch, which is a new marketplace platform that I and my co founder, Lauren, have created, built for entrepreneurs and content creators. This is the marketplace that is going to connect business owners and entrepreneurs who need content with vetted local creators who can help them plan, shoot, and edit their content all in one place. So many of you have asked, when am I going to be able to book you for a content day? When can you come to my city? Do you know anyone in my city that does what you do? And this is going to be the solution. So, whether you're an entrepreneur who is tired of struggling to find reliable content creators, photographers, or maybe you're just a creator who's ready to get booked and paid without having to go through the social media marketing of your business, Batch is going to be the platform that bridges that gap. So, say for instance, if you're flying to New York for a speaking engagement and you need content there, or even if you have a vendor pop up event in New Orleans and you need content there, Batch is going to be the creator marketplace that helps you get high quality content to market your brand online. It's designed to help you finally show up online with strategy, with confidence, and create consistent content that converts and actually helps you reach your visibility and revenue goals without the overwhelm. So, if you're ready to make content creation easier and more intentional, head over to batchcontent.com. That's BATCHED content.com. Join the waitlist so you are the first to know when Batch is launched in your city.
Yeah. So when it comes to mistakes, so one of the things I would say would be number one is not actually acknowledging that client experience actually even plays a role in your business. So just totally just disregarding it altogether. So one thing I kind of think about, and I hate to kind of pick on a certain industry, but it's one of those industries that I'm about to say that kind of sometimes kind of grind my gears a little bit would be like the hair industry
Oh goodness.
because I think a lot of times, and not of course all, I'm not saying all at all, but we see the videos, Instagram and stuff like that of where client experience is just not considered. It's
Mm,
totally ignored because people feel like, well, I could just get more clients. I'll
mhm.
just go through, continue to market, and okay, who cares if they're happy? Who cares if the service, if they wanted that or not wanted it? I don't care because I'm just going to get something else. There always will be more people. And I
Mhm.
think disregarding that altogether is not good in most scenarios. Like, so if you're in the hair industry, of course, that particular industry, yeah, you could possibly get more clients and stuff like that. But at some point, you do come to a cap
Yeah.
of how many clients are actually coming to you, especially like when the word starts kind of spreading a little bit that, yeah, you may do a good job, but you don't really treat people well, that can start
Mm.
spreading kind of fast. And the next thing you know, you realize, and then you don't have the clientels, you don't have that many people coming through as you thought you were.
Yeah.
The next thing I would think it would be is not actually defining what client experience actually means to you,
Hmm.
because there's different levels of client experience as well as it does vary based off your industry. So like for example with my business, because I am specializing in this, like I niche down in this, I'm really concerned about the client experience. Like, so I'm always asking questions, I'm always improving, I'm always changing things because it really matters. But that really started from me naturally just caring about my clients. So I
Mhm.
care about my clients, I care about their results. But having a clear definition of how you want your clients to feel, how you want them to feel about themselves and the experience that they're having with you, but how they feel about like that deliverable, that thing that they're getting from you. I think that's
Mhm.
very important as well. And
Mhm.
then the last thing is going to be determining how you're actually going to deliver the service. So
Hmm.
how are you going to do, so you've defined that client experience, but how are you then going to be able to deliver on that client experience that you basically had in your mind? I think when we think about, so just kind of give you an example. So it's kind of like whether we like them or love them, whatever. It's kind of like Chick-fil-A, right? All of the people there that work there, it's like, oh, my pleasure, right? Well, that
Mhm.
happened because they intentionally thought about that, right? They just, people
Mhm.
aren't just naturally just saying my pleasure. It's
Yeah.
something that they intentionally thought about. They did, they thought about how would that make people feel when they came to Chick-fil-A. Even just the simple fact of, okay, well, we're going to change the structure of how we go through and to get our customers their food faster. We're going to start having people walk around and let them take your order way down the line. So by the time if they get to the window, they could just get their food, because
Mhm.
they want you to, of course, they have a good product. If you like Chick-fil-A, they have a good product. But then also, too, they also want the client experience is also for them in particular is wrapped up in speed.
Yeah.
We want to get them out quickly, right? And so how
Mhm.
they solve that problem is let's get people out and order food down the road, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that is important too. It's just kind of understanding like how are you actually going to go through and deliver that level of client experience that you deem to be good for your business.
Yeah. And it's so good that you mentioned that, because I think that when you're first starting business, most of the time you are just more so focused on getting clients in. But then like once you start getting a consistent cadence, like I feel like in my business, I was always like taking audit of how like I wanted my clients to feel. Like I didn't want them to just say I was amazing. I wanted them to actually put tangible items that made this experience feel good. But not only just thinking of that, but also trying to be forward thinking and putting myself in the shoes of my client to actually understand how they feel before they actually decide to come to me. They're overwhelmed, they're stressed out, they're feeling all of these feelings. So how can, from the jump, from the first time that they actually come in contact with me or my business, how can I give them that reassurance that when they enter my virtual doors or my digital space, that feeling is some kind of somehow subsided, to where now they feel a little bit more ease to making that decision to invest into my business. But then also, as I continue to grow, as I continue to make my client experience better, not only does my client speak for me, but should I decide to charge a higher ticket price, like it's justified because so many people have talked about what the experience. It's not just me popping up in Houston just taking a photo. Anybody could do that. But a lot of
Exactly.
people talk about the other things that happen behind the scenes that actually, the fact that I'm putting myself in their brands, like I'm essentially their marketing strategist, like I'm their CMO rather than just someone shooting their content. And so I think that when people decide to actually invest time to dive deep into their client experience, their client workflow, their client process, and try to find the gaps of how to make situations better for their clients, not only are you able to start, having repeat clients, but you're also able to charge a higher ticket price for whatever service it is that you offer.
Absolutely. I think that's really, really good. And also too, because what happens is I think client experience is just it's just one of those things that's really underestimated, because I like the fact that you said that anybody could go through and do that. Like anybody
Mhm.
could go through and take photos. And there's so many in the service industry, you're a service provider as I am too. There are people that can do exactly what it is that we can do. Of course, there's certain things like strategy wise, like we have our
Mhm.
secret sauce and frameworks and stuff for that. But what takes you over the edge is how you go through and treat people. Because I feel like customer service, client
Mhm.
experience is really at an all time low, because people feel like, and I think part of that is because of the internet,
Mhm.
because people feel like I could just go on social media and I could just get tons of eyeballs and I can always get more people. But
Yeah.
when you have someone like me in particular that is not like that person that just has all this energy to be marketing my business, I rather market my business and show up on a consistent basis, like doing podcasts, doing a couple YouTube videos, and let me just leave this short form world to someone else. And let me just get the few clients that I need, because with a higher ticket item, I
Mhm.
don't need as many clients, just like
Mhm.
you and just like other service providers as well. We don't need a lot of clients. So I can bring in a few clients every single year to work with my business and continue to serve the same ones that I've already
Mhm.
been serving.
Yes, 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 yes. And I feel like that's the beauty about being able to have a solid client experience. Because I have clients that will book me time after time to where now, like, I don't have to, I say this in the most humblest way, but like when it comes to marketing, like I don't have to put as much effort, because if my capacity is serving 6 clients a month, at my price point, and out of those 6 clients, 3 of them are repeat clients, like it won't take me as much effort to get 3 clients than to start all over and get 6 new clients. So
Absolutely.
I kind of want to ask you a question about client journey. And so at what point in the client journey do you feel businesses lose the opportunities for repeat bookings?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I feel like that can happen at any point of the client journey,
Hmm.
but I would think that because, of course, there are situations that might arise up where you just so happen to miss a communication with the client. Maybe you didn't really perform well, so maybe you didn't do a good job in the thing that they got paid to do. So it can happen at different points. But I think the main point or part of the journey where this happens would be at the ends, considering that
Hmm.
everything else went well, right? So that you did a good job, they enjoyed their service. I think a lot of times during that offboarding phase, or when the
Hmm.
project or your service is actually wrapping up with that client, I think that's when it's actually missed, because that's when we don't kind of hone in on what is next for me and this client, because as service providers, there's always something next. There's always something next. There's a new offer that you can that will complement what it
Hmm.
is that you did for them. Like you as a photographer, it's like, okay, you went through, you might have did the brand photos, but maybe this time they didn't record any content for social media. So what's next? Let's offer content for social media. Let's do a recording session. I know most of the time you do all that at once, but I'm just using that as an example, right? And so what is the next thing that you can go through and you can offer that client to keep them into your ecosystem? What type of, can you ask for referrals? Can you ask for client feedback? These are all things that kind of bring the client back to you. And it doesn't have to be immediate. I think sometimes what happens is too, when we say client retention or having the client work with us again, that we believe that, okay, well, they have to work with us in the next week or it doesn't count. No, I have clients that when I do systems builds for them, they may not come back to me for 3 months. It may even be 6 months. I've had clients come back in a year. But the thing is that I go through and I set up systems to continue to reach out to them because I know what they need next. And as service providers, you know what your client needs next too.
Yeah.
Y'all already know I'm all about working smarter and not harder, especially when it comes to marketing your brand. And if you're still relying only on social media to reach your audience, we need to fix that immediately. Social media is cute, but let's be real. The algorithm is unpredictable, and your content is probably only reaching a small percentage of your followers. That's why I swear by email marketing, because when I send an email, I know 100% of my subscribers are getting my messages. And the best part, Flowdesk makes it ridiculously easy. You can send beautiful on-brand emails, automate your sequences, and even create landing pages without needing to be tech savvy. And because you're listening, I got you a deal. Use my code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout and you'll get 50% off your Flowdesk subscription for the next 12 months. So if you're ready to stop relying on algorithms and start building an email list that actually converts, try Flowdesk for free. And don't forget to use the code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout for that exclusive 50% off.
That's so good. I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's one thing that I tell my clients all the time, because I love the fact that when I have clients and they'll be like, oh my gosh, like your automations, your feedback, your systems that you have in place to like keep in touch are top tier. And I love that because, a lot of people think that it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort. But imagine if you had an automation set up to where you're like, hey, I want to, get some feedback on you. How was your experience? Or maybe you have an automation for me. Like I offer my clients a 30-minute post content day, call where they can ask me about, how to schedule their content or what order their content needs to go in or how to add background music or anything. It could be about anything, but it's more so giving them the option to hop on a call with me to deep dive into their deliverables that they received, but then also so they don't feel, like I just basically took their money, took their content and just dropped them and left them cold turkey. And then additionally, even after that, like 2 months after a content day, they'll get another email from me like, how's it going? How are you feeling about your content? How's the performance? Do you have any questions? And so I love that you mentioned that because so many times we're always focusing on the next client, the next client, the next client. But how can we nurture the people that have already invested money with us, that have already spent their time with us and have already, experience what we actually offer? And so I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah. I love working with repeat clients. I
Yeah.
just do because you already know them. They already know you. They already know the processes for the most part, right? And so it just makes it so much, it's a no-brainer. So I can go through and I could work with a client, do a systems build, and it's like, hey, now you need a project management tool. It's going to be
Yeah.
$2,000. And it's like, oh, okay. They've
Mm-hmm.
already paid you once. So it's
Yeah.
like you're not pitching them for something else.
Yeah.
They already know you do a good job. They already know that you're there to help them and support them because, again, depending on the type of business that you have, they're constantly growing and expanding their businesses or whatever it is that you do for your business. They are going through and still going up this ladder and expanding. And so it's always something to offer. And I like
Mhm.
what you said too. And I'm not sure like whether or not you charge for it or not, but just to kind of piggyback off of what you said with the client follow-up calls, some of the stuff, it doesn't even have to be paid. Like you can literally just say, "Hey, I'm just checking in with you. I want to see, how's your performance going? You want to jump on a call real quick?" and it not be paid. Like I do
Mhm.
that for clients all the time as well too. Like, "Hey, it's been 90 days since we
Mhm.
set up your systems and come do your systems audit, free 30 minutes. Like just come and
Mhm.
talk to me." And clients will go through, past clients will go through and they'll just book it. It doesn't have it, everything doesn't have to be paid because why? Because we're keeping them in our ecosystem. They come to me
Mhm.
now and I give you time now, but in
Yeah.
6 months they'll be willing to go through and pay for something else because they know that you actually do care about them and their success.
Yeah. But then I also feel like even, going the extra mile, like that kind of also gives you insight on where your client is in their process. So maybe they're feeling a certain way. Now you're getting that feedback and now you are able to maybe curate a new offer or maybe add something to your current offer and increase the price value of whatever offer that you actually are promoting. And so I love being able to just kind of take that time as not only a way, because so many people will be like, oh well, it's a waste of time. But if you were able to invest 30 minutes with one of your clients to actually get feedback to make your business better, would you say that it's worth it? And so when people, because I offer it for free, but so many people are like, well, time's not free. But if I'm sitting down with my client and this client is giving me insight on how they feel, and this, however they're feeling, is what I actually need the feedback to actually maybe add another package or add an add-on to my package that then makes me more money, I would say that it's worth it.
Yeah, so I think so too. I think so too. So like client feedback, and that's part of client experience. It
Mm-hmm.
is very hard to have or provide a very high level client experience without getting feedback
Yeah.
because we don't know everything, right? And so we do have to get that feedback. There's so many things, like you said, questions that you ask, surveys that you have the clients to fill out or do. And sometimes you have to incentivize some of them to actually give their feedback, but other
Mm-hmm.
times clients, they just kind of just fill them out, they do them.
Mm-hmm.
But feedback is very important. Like you have to, in my opinion, have to come become obsessed with the feedback, not just the
Mm-hmm.
testimonial, not just
Yeah.
the, oh, she did a good job, but like
Yeah.
with the client feedback, because that's going to help you to be able to grow as a business owner. And like you said, you can craft the best offer because you're listening to the people that are around you. Like
Mm-hmm.
even for myself, and I know some people don't necessarily do this anymore, which is fine, but I'm still the person that I do sales calls
Mm-hmm.
because that's the biggest way that I can stay on the ground is hearing
Yeah.
what people actually are having problems with.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I want to shift gears a little bit because now that we kind of discussed why it's so critical to have a client experience, I want to give someone some tangible advice that may be listening. So, what would you say are three simple upgrades that someone could implement this week to actually elevate their client experience within their business?
Yeah. So I would say, now I talk about this so much. And I think that this is one of the things that is missed. And it sounds, I think that it's missed because it sounds so simple that people are like, I'm not gonna do that or I'm not gonna take the
Mhm.
time to do that. But I highly, highly recommend it. Is going to be sitting down. It doesn't have to necessarily take you long. Maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, but map out your client journey.
Mm,
Map out your client journey. Know exactly this is where my clients are coming from and how they're going to navigate throughout my business. The
mhm,
reason why this is important because this allows for you to be able to add in those touch points
mhm,
or elevating your client experience. If you know that someone goes on your website, they put in an inquiry. Okay, it's like, okay, I have this form for inquiry. Now I can put in a touch point for a thank you email. I could move them on to when they maybe I onboard them. Maybe I send out a welcome email. Maybe I send out a client gift. When you have this mapped out, and I like to do this visually because I'm just a visual person,
mhm.
but you can I map it out. We use like a system to do it, but you can literally do this on a piece of paper, and this will help you to be like, okay, this is how I want to touch base with my clients, like virtually touch my clients each point during the client journey all the way to the time that they are going through the offboarding or when you close out the service. And then from there, of course, you're building in a strategy for, okay, how can I do potential work with this client in the future? So that's number one. I think that that's one of the things that that is highly missed. The second thing I would say, something if we were talking about something you could do like in a week or so, I would
Mhm.
say the next thing is to have some type of, like, if you don't already, have some type of like welcome packet or something like that that you could provide to your clients. This is going to go ahead and set that expectation that, number one, that I'm a professional, that I've thought about you. And also to there you can go through, you can set expectations, like what it's going to look like, because that's part of the experience as well, is setting expectations with your clients, letting them know timeline. So if you have a timeline of when something's going to be completed, share that timeline with them there so they know, because the more that they know, the better it's going to be. So, like, for example, like my projects that we do for systems, it takes a little longer. It takes 4 to 5 weeks. Well, if I told you that it took 4 to 5 weeks, you're
Mhm.
not disappointed when it takes 4 to 5 weeks.
Mhm.
Versus if I never told you what that timeline was going to be, at about
Mhm.
2 weeks, you're going to start getting like, okay, I just paid a couple $1,000s and why is this not done? Well, it's going to take 4 to 5 weeks. So, setting expectations is going to be very important. This is also where you can go through, you can set boundaries. Like, okay, I don't take calls on the weekend, or we're only going to chit chat in our chat system and maybe via email, not you
Mhm.
DMing me on Instagram, right? So you could set expectations. So having that welcome to kind of set those expectations, I feel like that starts the relationship off on a good foot. And then the last thing I would say is really think about where can you add something personal would be unique to you. Where can
Mhm.
you add something unique just so they could go through and remember? And a lot of times, typically, what people like to do in this case is going to be like client gifts, right? You
Yeah.
give your client a gift. And I love client gifts. I always give my clients gifts. But what I recommend, even if that's going to be your personal touch, is to give a gift. And I kind of think about this strategically. I am an overthinker, first of all. So I overthink a lot of different things. So I'm constantly going through testing out, like, when should we do it? Should we do it at this point, that point? So I would say a client gift. Think about the gift that you're going to give to the client, right? And think about them. Do they want your branded merch? Do they want your hat? Do they want your t shirt? Those things are nice. They are nice. They're nice for us. And it is nice in certain circumstances, right? And yeah, it's nice, right? But if you thought about the client fully, do they really want it? Are they going to wear your hat when they go to Walmart? Are they going to use it 3 months, 6 months down the road? Probably not. They're going to get it. They're going to say, oh, this is nice. And they're probably going to put it away with all the other things that they got. Yeah. They're probably going to put it away, right? So when you think about something as far as that, is what's personal to them that you can get them that they really want. So, like, and not to go on a tangent on gifts, but what we used to do is, like, my mom, she has a small business. She does like crafts and stuff like that. So what we used to do is we used to do tumblers, and I used to go through and customize the tumblers with our clients' logos on it, right? It's personal to them. It's got their logo on it. I can't do anything with it. But then we since went through and something happened with her machine, so we stopped doing that. But when since went through is, okay, what can I give to the client that they will use on a continuing basis? So what we started doing was I just started getting Stanley tumblers. They're going to use that. And every time they use it, they're going to think about, okay, Kenniqua gave me one of these, right? And so I just order a whole bunch of them and I give them to the clients. And if you want to take it a step further, you can always, like, you can personalize, like with Stanley, there's just like for Stanley, but you can personalize them too with their names on it if you want to, but they're going to use it. So kind of think about that. Like, what personal touch could you add to your interaction with your clients, so they'll be like, oh, this is really thoughtful and I'm actually really going to use this. Yeah, so yeah. But the thing about it is they already paid you. So, like, the money that so it's not like I'm just going through and just, like, in essence, taking the money from me, which I guess I do have less money because I spent it, but the value of it all together is, like, I could literally go through and just show appreciation for, "Thank you for working with my business," and I'm going to be thoughtful to try to buy something that I think that you would use, right? But again, it's a portion of what they've already paid you. And so it doesn't have to be something expensive. Like buying these, and this is like one of them. Like, I don't, is this in camera? This is one of them. I have lipstick on it. So this is one of them. I bought one for myself because I'm like, this is my favorite color. Typically, what I do, I'll just buy them in our brand color. So they're not that color. But it doesn't have to be anything expensive. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. It just has to be, in my opinion, just something that you thought about. And if they could continue to use it, it can even be something like an ink pen. The only thing about like with ink pens sometimes is that they're kind of like a dime a dozen, unless you buy a really good pen. They could be like just a dime a dozen, right? They have, but again, if it has your company name on it, it wasn't really personal to them. Like, are they really gonna be walking around just writing stuff with your business name on it? So we think about like they're gonna promote our business. No, I don't think about it like that. I don't think about the gift that I give to you that I want you to go through and promote me. No, I'm thinking about you because when you use something I gave you, I can get you to come back. I'm worried about you coming back, not you, because when you come back, in essence, you're happy. So you're gonna tell other people anyway. Without me having to be on a t-shirt that you're just not gonna wear, you're gonna give to Goodwill or something.
Okay, let me put y'all onto something because if you're creating content and you're not using ManyChat, you are leaving money on the table. And that's on period. I use ManyChat for all of my DM automations, and I'm constantly telling my clients this. DM automations are one of the best ways for you to convert your content. Why? Because you're getting direct links straight to your audience without them having to wait for you to manually respond to DMs. You can send links to your lead magnets, event tickets, your offers, checkout pages, literally anything that you're selling automatically. It's fast, it's seamless, and it removes friction for your audience. But what I love most is not how just convenient it is, but how strategic it is. Because you can also track your conversions and see where your leads are coming from and understand what content is driving real results. Not just likes, not just views, actual data. And if you want to try it out, I got a code for you. Use my code to get 30% off of ManyChat for your first 3 months. You can scan the QR code on your screen, or if you're listening, head over to cdcreativecoagency.com/ManyChat to grab your discount now. Trust me, once you automate your DMs, you will never look back.
It's I believe that as well. It's always going to be worth it because someone else saying like especially video, like if you can get a client on video, like to me that even takes it up even a notch even more to have them on video because most clients, first of all, I think that for videos, like you definitely should be incentivize some way, because video speaks like 1,000 words with video, and most clients don't necessarily do video. Most just give you written, which is written is just as, written is good as well too, but that video definitely takes it up a notch. Like, I was doing a offboarding call with one of my clients, this was last week, and she was just telling me like, this is so amazing. And she was literally kind of giving a testimonial during the offboarding call. And so I just asked her, like, hey, is it okay that I clip this from our offboarding call and just use it as a testimonial? She was like, do whatever you want, because it was perfect. Why do I need to ask you for a video? You're literally talking to me and you're telling me how great it is, the transfer. Like, you're telling me everything right here. This is me. This is unprompted. This is nothing better than this. So you could definitely do that, but it's definitely worth it to incentivize when you need to. I don't always have to incentivize, like, so I'll ask for client feedback and ask for them to submit a survey. And if I see that maybe they haven't done it in a period of time, then I may incentivize them. And typically, like right now, how I incentivize them, just because I do systems, is because we give our clients 30 days of support. So what I'll do is, if I have to incentivize, which I might just start incentivizing across the board maybe, but I'll say we'll add an additional 7 days of support. And so that's good, because that means they can go through, they can submit support tickets, they can still chat, even though, like, I tell people, like, support is the window for support. You can still do support tickets, but it's never a point where I cut my clients. They have like their own client portal, they have chats. I never cut them off a chat. Like, if it's with outside the support window, I still don't cut them off a chat, but you just won't be able to submit a support ticket. But yeah, so if you have to incentivize, I would recommend doing that, because the clients that are speaking for you is that, I mean, that's just like the highest level of currency, especially when you can get them on video.
What are some of the tools or systems that someone could use to simplify their client experience in their business?
Yeah. So the first thing I would recommend is having a CRM, so a client relationship manager, because that's where you'll be able to basically centralize all of your clients all in one place. So there, I like to use HoneyBook. We use and build HoneyBook for our clients, but that's where you can put all of your leads, your forms. You can have your payments inside of their contracts. You can do automation. You can have this centralized place, which is going to help you be able to manage your clients. Because a lot of times, what happens is, I don't think that most service providers don't provide the level of client experience that they want, not because they don't care. It's not because they're bad at what they do. None of that is true. It's truly just because they don't have the systems in place in order to be able to do that. Like, so clients, or, people listening to the podcast, it's typically because they're doing things manually all the time. And if your client experience, your clients, if it depends on you being on all the time, it's just going to just fall to the wayside, because you're going to get busy doing client work. You're going to be asleep. You're going to be on a family trip. And if you don't have those systems that is there to kind of catch that load when a client needs help, or needs to submit an inquiry, or needs to pay, or whatever, then it's just gonna kind of fall to the wayside. And it's not your fault because of you being like a business owner, or that you don't care. It's just because of lack of system. So I recommend the CRM system, and that can be, like I said, I use HoneyBook, but you don't have to use HoneyBook. There's other CRM systems that you can use. There's Dipsato, there's 17 hats. There's so many different ones that you can use. And then, depending on your business as well, is that I would also recommend having some type of way to manage the project as well. So with me, it's not just about the client management and the payments, is that I also have a lot of tasks that are associated with me providing the actual deliverable. And so that's going to require like an actual project management tool in conjunction with your CRM in order to be able to go through and deliver. But project management is typically something that's, something internal to you. It could be external to the clients as well. Like if you have to assign them things for them to do, like, so if they have to turn in like maybe their logos or branding photos or something like that. Like, let's say if you're a website designer, there's things you need from the clients. So your project management could come and play with that. So I would say for the most part, your CRM and project management are going to be like those two things that you could use in order to be able to really streamline, especially the CRM, but to be able to streamline your process, because you could do communication and everything through there as well. Okay. Okay. The stop doing immediately. I would just say what comes to mind first is just stop ignoring it. Just stop putting systems off. So let's just say that. Just stop putting systems off. Stop waiting for another day. Stop waiting for revenue. Stop waiting for you to get more clients. You do need to have systems into your business, and it doesn't have to be robust. I think a lot of times we think it has to be these major systems with a whole bunch of automations. It doesn't have to be that way. Start tracking their clients, start tracking how many repeat bookings that they are getting, so how many clients are coming back to them. Start tracking the lifetime value of their clients, like start tracking, like what I mean by lifetime value is like how much money is are your clients currently right now paying you, and is there a way for you to go through and increase that. But track is going to be important too. It's going to be in the offboarding. Most people do not think about it. They get done with whatever the job is and they go back into, I have to market. I have to create content. They go back into that to try to go get more clients, because now it's time to go get more clients. And we just totally disregard that opportunity at the end to work with the same people over and over and over again. The fastest way to increase referrals? That's a really good question. So, I would say, if anything, is probably ask. I don't think that people really ask for referrals or make it easy for people to refer you. So, have some type of system tool, and it doesn't even have to be a system. It could be simply, and what I mean by system, because sometimes we interchange the word system with software and tools, but system is literally just a process for which you do things. So have some type of system in place to actually get referrals. So you can have like an email template of just going through and asking for a referral, and make it easy for people to refer you. So, like, is there a form they should fill out for people can go through, drop their information to refer? And is there some type of like verbiage you can give to them about you? So sometimes people may not necessarily even know what to say about you. Like, like it's like, what exactly does she do? Well, she does something. It's like, she does take the photos, but I'm not too sure. She does other things too. Like, tell them what to say. Like, give them verbiage of what to say and where they need to go in order to be able to move forward. What is one boundary? Hmm. I don't know. If any, so I don't know if it's a particular boundary. I think if I were to say anything. It's just about having boundaries. Because if I've already set expectations and provided you with my boundaries, so like I'm only available from this time to this time, again, you're not disappointed when I don't answer you outside of there. Or if I say that I only want to receive messages from, our chat or from email, whatever, Slack, you're not hurt when I don't answer it on Instagram. So I think that having those boundaries and setting expectations ahead of time kind of helps, because client experience is really just curving expectations. Right? You're going above, I would say above and beyond. So you're doing a little bit extra, right? You're doing a little bit extra to make sure that your clients, that they feel seen, they feel heard, but setting those boundaries is where they're not getting upset because they're already aware. Most people are don't get mad when they already knew something. If they know you're not open on Saturdays, they are not mad when they email you on Saturday and you don't respond. They're mad when you didn't say that you weren't. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Yeah, so sure. Thank you so much for having me. So they can find me. You can go to yoursystemspro.com. And right now I have two offers. So I do have our 5-star client experience CRM build, which we will build out your client experience system for you, which my venue or avenue for getting that done is typically through HoneyBook. And then the second one is just a strategy call. So the strategy call is the same thing. We can talk about a lot of different things where I put my mind to work for you to be able to go through and help you to increase your client experience. We can talk about retention. We can talk about referrals. We can talk about systems. So it's so many different things that we can talk about and actually do. So this can also be like done with you type of thing where we're actually, because I do that sometimes with clients on strategy. I probably should not be, but I do that sometimes we actually do work together during the strategy calls as well too. So yeah, just on yoursystemspro.com is where you can find me. Or I also have a YouTube channel. So I talk all the time on YouTube. So it's under my name. I did start doing a live series. So I am live now on Mondays at 12 p.m. So 12 p.m. Eastern. So if you have any questions, you can catch me live and ask your question. Yeah. Thank you so much, Carly.
Thank you for tuning in to the Side Hustler podcast. If today's episode gave you clarity or the push you needed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want more behind the scenes content and strategy in real time, come hang out with me on Instagram at cd.creativeco. I'll see you in next week's episode.